Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today's book is a very short, sweet story by Kathy Bramley called We'll Meet Again. It's just a sweet little short story which I really enjoyed. It was just perfect. So I'll read the little blurb to you. For Nurse Jenny Hallam, there is no such thing as a quiet day or night at work. But even with World War II rumbling away, Jenny still has time, patience and kindness for everyone she treats, with plenty to spare for her two young children at home. From his sickbed, handsome but shy pilot officer Will Rose has noticed Jenny's gentle ways. When the two of them spark up a conversation, a friendship blossoms that brings out a new hope in them both. Friendship is all their connection can be for now, but nothing stays the same in the war. What might happen if they were to meet again? In this story, it's set in World War II. You've got Nurse Jenny Hallam and a pilot officer, Will Rose, who is on her ward. And Jenny's husband is away in the war, and she's noticed that she hasn't heard anything from him for a few weeks. They generally try to keep in touch with letters and things, but she realises that she hasn't heard from him for a while. And pilot officer Will Rose, he has a woman in his life who he's prepping for her to turn up at the hospital and for them to have a proper conversation about everything and where they think their relationship is going. The thing is, Will does have a bit of a soft spot for Jenny, and Jenny has a bit of a soft spot for Will. In preparation for his girlfriend turning up, Jenny, slightly against the rules, takes Will into one of the back rooms, one of the staff rooms, and cuts his hair so that he can look nice and presentable when his girlfriend turns up. We then find out that the reunion didn't quite go as well as Jenny wanted it to. Because I feel like with Jenny and her husband, and then you've got Will and his girlfriend, it feels like a bit of a almost a bit of an unrequited love type thing, because you're aware that Jenny and Will seem to have a bit of a connection, and about halfway through the story, probably more than halfway through the story, you find out that Jenny's husband is missing in action, and she shows the letter that she got saying that he was missing in action to Will, at which point they both kind of commiserate their relationships because Will's reunion with his girlfriend didn't go very well. Jenny has now found out her husband is missing in action, and so they kind of lean on each other a little bit in the story and commiserate together. And then there is a flash forward to when the war is over, and you find out that Jenny and Will reunited after their time in the hospital together, with him as patient and Jenny as nurse. And I'm not going to say what happens after that because that would be major spoilers, even though it's a very, very short story. But yeah, it's really cute. I really liked the flash forward bit where you find out what happened to them both afterwards. You find out what happened with Jenny and what happened to her husband. You get more information about Will and what's happened to him since that night in the hospital. And yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely story, and the fact that it's set right at the end of the war means it's not too heavy, because I feel like stories about the war can feel very, very heavy on the heart, because obviously we know what happened there, and with a story set in the war you almost expect a bit of a hard-hitting, heavy story, but this feels quite light, and the fact that it's set right at the end of the war, it feels a bit more uplifting. It says it's 288 pages. It definitely wasn't that long. Oh, but then again, there was, because I think it was about halfway through the book, the version that I was reading, that this story finished, and then we got an excerpt from Kathy Bramley's book following this, so it was like half We'll Meet Again and half a different book, because you had the first few chapters of a different book in there. But yeah, it was just a lovely story, and the fact is I don't read that many short stories, so it was really nice just to have a nice little short story to read. And because this is like a leftover on my Kindle from years ago, and I'm just making my way through books on my Kindle app that I haven't read. I used to have a Kindle reader, and I would just go through Amazon and would find all the free books, the ones that were just being given away. Yes, I know I'm a bit of a cheapskate, but I also feel like a lot of the time when it comes to free books, it's one of those things where it's just like, some of them can have really dodgy titles, but there's some really good, heartwarming, amazing stories. I have read so many amazing stories by looking through the free books on Amazon. And I found incredible series that way as well. I mean, with the Sophia Beaufont books, my dad found the first 12 for about 99p. Incredible, and I don't even know how the authors get a profit on that. But then again, they have such good reviews, it's obvious that people are paying and people are giving their money for these books. And to be fair, I will say I do have an Amazon account, so I'm sure that some of the money that I pay towards my Amazon Prime will be going to the authors. The fact that there are so many stories and so many books that are either free or cheap, maybe because they're self-published, I don't know. Yes, so that was We'll Meet Again by Kathy Bramley. I just did a big zoom. Just a lovely, heartwarming, beautiful, uplifting story about two people who were brought together almost by fate at what is quite possibly the worst point in both of their lives, and it turns into something beautiful. It turns into something beautiful. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye, lovelies.